Welcome back to Talk of the Town on 99.7, 1450 WHTC and WHTC.com.
And we welcome you back to Talk of the Town for this Tuesday, July 13th. I'm Gary Stevens. It is the second Tuesday of the month, which means we devote this half hour to catching up on things going on at the Holland Museum. And we are very pleased to have Loren Harvey, the Education and Volunteer Coordinator, and Michelle Stempien, the Education and Community Programs Manager, joining us via the Zoom connection this morning. Ladies, good morning. And I like to say you grace us with your presence, both of you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Glad you are with us. That's Michelle. Loren, you'll hear in a moment or so. I think we'll hear from Loren, right? She's just smiling. By the way, we are recording this video, so we will also have the video available when we put a link to it a little bit later on. We'll explain on morning news. But good news. I'd like to begin with good news for both of you ladies. Neither Loren or Michelle can talk about this. The Smithsonian Spark Lab has reopened. It was just spot ready to reopen when we had our chat with the museum people last month, and now it has reopened, and I would think all involved very pleased with it.
Yes. Loren, why don't you go ahead and talk about the Spark Lab?
Sure, yes. So we've been open for a couple weekends now, and it's been fantastic. It's so great to see families back in that space again, and the kids have been having a blast in there with the different activities that we have set up. It's been great.
What concerns are there from some of the patrons about safety concerns, Loren? Because obviously that exhibit had to go down when we had the health restrictions placed in March of 2020. And there are some safety things that are put in place so that people can enjoy it and not have to feel afraid that they're going to catch anything.
Correct. Yes. So because this is such a hands-on space for families and kids, we've implemented a very strict hourly cleaning routine, cleaning and disinfecting based off CDC guidelines for the different parts of the exhibits that the kids touch and interact with. We're also encouraging everyone in that space to wear masks just because it's the best way that we can protect our youngest visitors.
Now, may I be presumptive in saying that with Spark Lab now open at the museum, 10th and River in downtown Holland, in the past, before what happened last March, Spark Lab was a traveling exhibit. At times it went to certain events. I'm thinking right off the top of my head about Spark Lab being a part of National Night Out festivities over at Collin Park. Is that still sort of like, let's get this out of the way first before we take the show on the road?
I think at this point, we're probably ready to go taking the show on the road. So if anybody's interested, let us know. We definitely have programs available for local schools and teachers that are interested in having Spark Lab come to their classrooms. And we're always open to any sort of outreach opportunities where Spark Lab can be involved.
Loren Harvey, that is indeed good news. If you got a question for Michelle Stempien or Loren Harvey from the Holland Museum, they'll be happy to answer it at 616-395-1450. I've been mentioning when we've done some of our public service announcements about fire walks and walking tours, stepping out from the Settlers House and the Capon House, most notably the Capon House, but certainly tours are now available for these two historic sites. Michelle or Loren, either one of you can talk about the tours of the Capon House and the Settlers House.
Yes, we are happy to welcome people back to the houses. Again, they have been closed for quite a long time. And we are really happy to have them back. So you can schedule a tour of the Capon and Settlers House by going through our website. There's an online form that you can use to schedule a time. And we do encourage people to make a reservation to tour the houses, and we are available for tours on Fridays and Saturdays throughout the summer from 11 to 3. So the last tour would leave the houses at 2 o'clock. So we do encourage online registrations, but we have had some walk-ins, and that's been fine too, and we are happy to have them. The costs of the tours take 1 hour, and the costs are $7 for adult, $5 for seniors, and $3 for students. Kids 6 and under are free. So we've had some really great weekends, the last couple of weekends, lots of people coming to tour. We again are encouraging, it's small spaces in the houses, so we do encourage people to wear masks just because you're going to be around other people, and if there are children around as well, to protect them. So we just encourage that. But we've had some really great tours, people coming from other states who are here in Holland for a weekend and are looking for something fun and interesting to do. And it's just been great to be open again.
Michelle or Loren, I know majority of our listeners, or shall I say, I can assume a majority of our listeners are well aware of the historical backgrounds and the significance of the Capon House and the Settlers House. However, we always have new people that are either in the area or new listeners to WHTC who might be a little bit unaware of the significance of the Capon House and the Settlers House. So I'm going to throw it to either you, Michelle, or to you, Loren Harvey. Tell us a little bit about the Capon House and the Settlers House, and why should somebody perhaps make a tour of those historic places?
Sure. The Capon House was the home of Isaac Capon and his large family. He had 16 children in all, and the house was built in 1874 after the Holland Fire, after his previous home burned in the Holland Fire of 1871. And it's been restored to about 1900. And so it's an incredible example of Victorian style, but also Italianate architecture. This is the style of the outside of the house. And you get to hear about, and there's a lot of the house that's original. A lot of the furnishings and materials inside were owned by the family, and only the Capon family lived in this house. So a lot of the items in there are original, which is really unusual for historic homes. And the Settlers House, which is down the street from the Capon House, was built in 1867 and is a really excellent example of a working class home in Holland at that time. And it did survive the 1871 fire. And it's been restored to about that time period. And again, it's just a really great example of how working class families lived in Holland in the 1800s. And so you can tour both of them at the same time. The price that I quoted covers the tours of both houses. And we encourage people to come. It's a really excellent way to be introduced to the history of Holland.
I think that Mr. Capon probably would have been the subject of a reality TV show if the 16 members of the family were around, say in 2021, than it was near the turn of the 19th into the 20th century. 616-395-1450. If you have a question for Loren Harvey and Michelle Stempien, they are with the Holland Museum, 616-395-1450. To use a phrase that is normally heard when people are enjoying a beverage at their local tavern, when it comes to around 2 o'clock, last call. And I'm going to use that term because the Matthias Alton exhibit is on last call. I'll know it to either you, Michelle, or you, Loren, to tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, the exhibition is on its last call. It closes July 25th, and we do encourage people to come down and see it before it goes. This will be your last opportunity. And these are works that aren't usually on display. So what we have is a group of drawings and watercolors by this really important West Michigan artist who is based in Grand Rapids. And Alton has works in museums all over West Michigan, and he's best known for his landscapes, especially of the West Michigan shoreline, and farmers. But he was an incredible draftsman, and we have some spectacular drawings of figure drawings and some beautiful watercolors he did. Again, of a site in Grand Rapids and the West Michigan shoreline. So you can see the work of an artist as in a little more informal way, and really get a sense of how he worked and where he got his ideas and how he created the works that he's best known for. So the show's only here for a couple more weeks, and we've really enjoyed having it. The works are on loan to us from Grand Valley State University. And so many people have come through and seen the exhibit and really enjoyed it. So if you haven't, we encourage you to come see it.
Now, part of this exhibit ties into an event that's coming up in a couple of days on July 15th. And I'm looking at scattered thunderstorms for Thursday. No. There'll be a drawing in Centennial Park on Thursday evening. Again, Michelle or Loren, you can tell us about this event that is, shall we say, inspired by Matthias Alton.
Right. A lot of where he got his ideas is going around and wandering around Grand Rapids or other cities in West Michigan, or going to the lake shore. And so he was inspired by the world around him. So we thought it would be really great to do a program in the park. It would allow for social distancing as well, but being outside. And we have a local artist who will be with us, Barbara Carlson, and she will do a drawing demonstration, and then we'll have drawing supplies, pencils, paper, for people to spread out around the park and do their own drawing. So we do need to know how many people are coming to this event. So we do need you to register, and you can register through our website, hollandmuseum.org. And it is $15 to help cover supplies and the artist's time, but it will be a really great program. If it does rain on Thursday, we do have a rain date, which is the next Thursday, the 22nd. So we have the opportunity to do the program again if it doesn't work out for this Thursday. And I know the weather's looking a little iffy, but we're going to keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, I have a funny feeling that it's going to happen. I am very confident about that. There's another program going on Thursday night. What is this? Museum Under the Stars? In other words, are you taking the whole... No, you're not taking the whole museum out to the park, are you? No. Tell us about that.
Loren, do you want to talk about Museum Under the Stars?
Yeah, Museum Under the Stars is this Thursday, July 15th, from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. It's an event that we're doing in combination with Holland State Park and the Shoreline Amateur Astronomical Association, where kids can come, families can come to learn about constellations. We have a fun build your own Big Dipper craft for them to take home. They'll have a chance to look through the telescopes. It's going to be located at the basketball courts to the right of the parking lots when you're facing Lake Michigan, and it is included with park admission. Now,
being under the stars, now we are going to behave, folks. This is not any time, just because it's a summer night and hopefully the stars are out. No. Let's focus on the stars. All right, folks. Okay. But from 9 to 11 o'clock, just the park admission is what it is. But that seems to be fun, and maybe there might be a shooting star. Who knows? Indeed. Now, one more event that's coming up, and I want to preface this, and since I have a moment or so, I want you ladies to listen to our friend Jody Erickson Tata.
Hi, I'm Johnny Erickson Tata. Sometimes when I'm in public, like at the grocery store, I place myself in challenging circumstances, like when I leave my husband and head out in my wheelchair to search for an item on a different aisle. I get there, I spot what I want on the fourth shelf, and then I have to look up and down the aisle to see if someone's around to help me retrieve it. And usually there is. And so if it's a man pushing his cart, I'll say with a happy smile, "Sir, you look like a good Boy Scout. Could you please reach for that can of tomatoes and place it in my backpack?" And I usually get a "Sure, I'm happy to help" response. He goes away feeling good, and I wheel away with my can of tomatoes. There's an old proverb that says that pleasant words promote instruction. So today, lend a helping hand to someone with a disability like me. And if you need ideas, you can always find them at disabilitycampaign.org. Again, that's disabilitycampaign.org.
The reason why I played that message from Johnny Erickson Tata, she is, of course, with Disability Network, and Disability Network Lakeshore will be part of a special program coming up on Thursday, July 29th that the museum is a part of. Again, Michelle or Loren, either one of you can pick up the ball on this.
Yeah, we are really happy to host this program and share and collaborate with Disability Network Lakeshore. This will be a virtual program. We're going to be doing this on Zoom. So you can register for the program, again, through our website, hollandmuseum.org, and it's a free program. And we will be having a discussion with Stacy Trowbridge and Kristen Myers, and they will be talking about we're really focusing on DEI, so diversity, equity, and inclusion, but talking about that through the lens of disability. And I mean, people may not really think about this when they think about diversity, equity, inclusion, but people with disabilities are the largest demographic of marginalized people, and so this is an opportunity for us to discuss those issues and to really look at diversity, equity, inclusion, but through the lens of disability. We'll also be talking about ableism, and they will be giving a lot of suggestions, like what we just heard in that recording, a lot of suggestions on how we can support people in our community with disabilities. And so I encourage people to sign up and come.
And a lot who are needing the help through no fault of their own. In Johnny's situation, she had a diving accident and became a paraplegic. Others have had illnesses. Some, unfortunately, are born with disabilities, and having that empathy and having that understanding certainly important there. That's coming up on the 29th from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Loren, there's a lot of opportunities at the museum for people to be able to contribute. And we're not talking about, hey, I got an old religious, an old historical artifact. Maybe the museum would like that. We've had discussions with Ricky Levine about that in the past, and that will be for another time. And of course, we do have opportunities for people to be participating with the museum on a financial basis. But I think to a certain extent, Loren, in your role as education and volunteer coordinator, having extra hands around and extra bodies around, I think is as important as maybe having, let's put it this way, money can work for you, but money doesn't, haul boxes around.
Yes, as we're getting back more to normal, and we're having more things happening at the museum, we are really in need of volunteers. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we're still a little bit short on our normal ranks of volunteers. So there's lots of roles to fill, and there's something for everybody at the museum. There's tons of opportunities for people maybe interested in working with kids and families, for people interested in working with the collections. There's always opportunities. So if you're interested in donating your time to the museum, please reach out to me by phone or email. We'll get you going with the orientation process and get you started.
Now, what areas more that really need volunteers more than anything else? It just simply support staff or specific programs that might need more volunteers? Anything in particular, Loren?
Sure. So this fall, we're going to be creating a docent class because we're really in need of museum docents. And those are people who spend time at the museum and the galleries, talking with visitors, leading tours, helping with school groups, things like that. So we are in need of docents. So if you're interested in something like that this fall, reach out to us and we'll get you signed up for our docent classes.
Now, is there some sort of regulations about volunteering, some sort of, I would say guidelines, for lack of a better term, Loren, that somebody has to sort of meet to be able to be a volunteer, or it's pretty much, it's pretty open?
Sure. So we like our volunteers to be able to dedicate at least 2 shifts per month. The only restrictions that we have is that you have to be able to pass a background check. But otherwise, it's pretty open to community members interested in history or interested in working with the community and wanting to help us out.
Yeah, and again, the call for volunteers. I mean, we talked on programs before about the help wanted signs for employment. It's probably even higher for those trying, help wanted. We need volunteers, and certainly that would be a concern. We talked a little bit, and I do have a moment to bring this up. We sort of brought this up when we talked about the Capon House and the Settlers House and talking about walking tours stepping out from the Capon House. It's part of the summer walking tour series that is, shall we say, a regular thing, a regular Tuesday, Friday thing. Either Loren or Michelle, either one of you can talk about that.
Sure. Yes. So our walking tour schedule is back up and running for the summer. It's been super great and fun so far. We've been working on our tours and perfecting them over the summer, and I feel like we're in a good spot with them now that people are really going to be enjoying them. We have 3 topics that we're covering this summer, and each week is a different topic. So this upcoming week will be the Holland Architecture Tour, followed by the Firewalk Tour, and then the Capon Family Tour. So those are by donation. We say that people can pay whatever they can afford, but it's a suggested donation of $5 with those.
Yeah, and it's certainly a chance to learn about the city of Holland's history at a walking pace. Yeah, I know that's a bad pun. Yeah, but hey, sometimes you got to throw out the bad puns. How can people be involved with the museum in terms of being a member, and what membership does include? And things that, shall we say, benefits of being a member of the Holland Museum?
Sure. We are always looking for new members, and it's another way to be involved with the museum. It supports us financially. Membership is a huge asset, and we wouldn't be able to do what we do without members. You can take advantage of special perks. If you're a basic member at $35, you get free admission for an individual and a guest. Family members, which are $50, includes free admission for 2 adults and children under 17. And then we have a premium level, which is $125, which includes 4 adults and children under 17, and also includes membership in the North American Reciprocal Museum Program and a subscription to Michigan History Magazine. So that is an incredible deal if you think about being able to get in either free or reduced rates at hundreds of museums across the country because you're a member of the Holland Museum at the $125 level. It's a huge value. So, but yeah, it pays for itself. Even just with a couple of visits to the museum, you've paid for your membership. So, and it really does help us do what we do on a regular basis.
The Holland Museum open Mondays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. Second Monday of the month is a free Monday, 4 to 7 p.m., which will be on August 13th, because you missed it yesterday, folks. But I did mention it on Talk of the Town yesterday, so you had the opportunity. Yeah. But anyway, we want to thank Michelle Stempien and Loren Harvey for joining us from the Holland Museum. For more information, hollandmuseum.org is the website, or the phone number, 616-796-3329, 616-796-3329. Loren, Michelle, thank you very much for joining us. Look forward to talking with both of you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Loren Harvey and Michelle Stempien from the Holland Museum.